Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Minnesota RØKKR co-stream. It's Super Week, baby. I'm feeling mad hype. My name is Ashley, aka Midnight, your host with the most, as usual. And today, I got on Brett Diamond, just flexing on me, dude. I have almost every piece of RØKKR merch, but I don't think that's official merch. Is that custom hockey jersey? What is that?
It's one of one
One of
hockey
one.
jersey.
It's got diamond on the back, right? Oh, that's sick. That's sick. Brett is at RØKKR HQ right now, which is freaking amazing. We're hyped for Super Week. We're hyped for the matches. In case you missed it, we played Seattle Surge a couple days ago. I think it was Tuesday. We won. Wasn't easy. It was a little scary at times, but it was definitely an entertaining match. We won 3-0. It felt a little weird in the control. It was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, two of those maps were tight. But
yeah, they were pretty
good
close.
Scoreline.
3-0 is a good scoreline. You need that. Even your map count is critical when you're looking at the seeding and the tie breaks that we're going to be going into. So obviously today, guys, we play New York Subliners. Shout out to them. Their roster is Clayster, Diamond Con, I think that's his name. Mac Melts, and then the one and only Asim. Actually, Asim on the RØKKR roster last season. Great guy, great player. He's been performing incredibly well with New York so far. They've had some weird roster shifting and issues coming up. I'm just excited to see. I mean, obviously, I want Asim to win every time, unless he's playing us. Brett, how do you feel about matching up for the first time against Asim today?
Yeah, well, like you're saying, I mean, we want to see all of the roster from last year. We like to see those guys do well when they're not playing us. So
Yes.
this will be the one match that we're not rooting for our guy Asim, but. I mean, we talked a little bit about it before the show. He was one of the tougher ones to say goodbye to after the season, and it was tough making the changes with all the players on the old roster, but particularly with Sim. Heading into free agency, he was probably the one that we honestly thought was going to have the most likely scenario to be on this roster. And going into free agency, we basically said, if we don't get the A team, if we don't get our dream team, these four guys that we ended up with, Asim was probably going to end up staying here. So, that was probably the toughest of the old roster to say goodbye to. But we were very fortunate in free agency to get the four guys we did. But it was fun watching Asim in the last match. He popped off. Yeah, I think he had one of the highest KDs across the entire day.
Yeah.
So good to see him doing well, but not today.
Yes, and he's typically not even that player that you think, oh yeah, Asim's going to drop good KD. He does a lot of the dirty work. He's rotating. He's going in the hill first. He's baiting. Obviously it's a bit different in 4v4. Your life is a lot more valuable than it is in 5v5, but it's been awesome to see him just kind of coming into his own as a player. He's still young, got a whole future ahead of him. And then on the flip side, I think only Mac Melts is a former teammate of Attach and Accuracy from New York Subliners last year. Obviously, Attach and Accuracy with New York all of last year. They did win their own home series. Must be nice, must be cool. Hopefully they can bring that to us here in Minnesota this year. But I'm excited to see, how that matches up. Clayster has been pretty insane this year so far. New York Subliners has been looking better and better each time we see them. And so I'm not nervous. I'm still going to predict RØKKR to win. But I am nervous because every match, and as we mentioned, every map means something. You mentioned that you were kind of geeking out a little bit last night, looking at the wins, the losses, the seeding. How do we get in a good position for majors next week, Brett?
Yeah, well, I did not know that Icon would be sick today and I'd be subbing in, but it was a little serendipitous because I did wake up at 3 a.m. and nerded out on the standings and some tiebreaker scenarios. And if we win this match against Subliners, we will clinch at least a top three in our group. So what that means for majors, if you're top three in your group, you start in the winner's bracket. That's really like, hey, we still want to take a shot at that number one seed. And if we win out, we've got a decent shot at it. But at the very least, heading into each stage of the season, you want to finish top three in your group, start in winner's bracket. And if we can win today, there's like some scenarios that end in a 3-way tie for different things, but we win those tie breaks based on a win over Empire. And if we win this one, a win over New York. So it's a big one. Be great to head into that last match already having the top 3 locked up.
That would be nice to clinch top 3 today. So, and we're not even halfway through Super Week. I'm looking at the schedule over here, and oh my gosh, we've just been blessed with COD. And then there's not even a break between now and the majors. Majors is literally next Wednesday next Wednesday. It starts in for less than a week. It's going to be nutty. So make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're going to be doing co-streams of all the RØKKR matches. Hit a like on the video as well. That'd be super cool, or the stream. But yeah, looking at the Subliners matchup here, and you look at like who has left to play who. LA Thieves and London, who are also in our group, will play one another. Dallas and Subliners are playing tomorrow. That will be pretty interesting because, like I mentioned, Subliners have been kind of on the upswing a little bit. They've been looking a bit, they've improved each game. And Dallas, they did get a win yesterday, but they did lose to us, last week. And they just aren't looking as dominant as you expect from Dallas, the world champions of last season. So I'm pretty interested to see how that New York match goes. And then a really big match to end off Super Week, the finale, the culmination on Sunday night. Dallas Empire and LA Thieves are going to be playing. And depending on how these matches go, depending if we get a win and how some of their matches go, there could be some massive seeding implications from that, right? You want to get as high as you can so you get the best possible spot in the bracket for the major, and you have hopefully, one of the best matchups. So I don't know, man. It's going to be pretty cool to see like how it shakes out. I think, there's a lot of talk right now about RØKKR's Hardpoint. They haven't looked very strong. I think we've won one Hardpoint. That's not something we like here. We want to be dominant. I mean, if you're looking for dominance, it's definitely the search and destroy. There's 2 Hardpoint maps per series. There's 2 searches per series, and then the control, that's kind of like your flux map. It's scary when you're looking at Hardpoint. That's the first map of each series, and if you go down 0-1, you can look at your search and say, oh well, we can maybe even it up. But what if you don't? It's scary, man. You don't want to end up in that situation. So they've got to come out hot. Looks like we've got just a couple minutes here 1 minute before the match starts. I want to see some spams in the chat. What are your predictions, chat? The maps are Raid Hardpoint, Moscow Search and Destroy, Raid Control, 2 raids, let's go. Garrison Hardpoint map 4, and then map 5, if it goes to it, Search and Destroy on Miami. I am pretty confident looking at that map pool. I feel like we play Moscow S&D really well. Obviously, Miami S&D, Major Maniac was a freak that one time. It was pretty nuts. And we've looked good on Raid Control. And we actually haven't seen RØKKR play Raid Hardpoint yet. And if you guys know me, I've loved Raid since 2012 when Black Ops 2 first came out. Played it all in 2013. See me in League play on the ladder. I love the mode. I'm super excited to see how the guys come out, and it seems like there's a really good variety between the hard points that we've actually been playing. I don't know if that's intentional or what, but you love to see that. So Brett, what's your predictions as the chat guesses their predictions? What are you thinking? I'm thinking 3-0. I'm coming out hot, dude. I know. I'm coming out with the heat. I'm looking at these maps. I'm like, I'm drooling, man. I'm excited. What do you think, Brett? What are we winning? How are we winning?
I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1. I feel good. But I'm not going to quite predict the sweep, but I like your confidence. I hope you're right.
Yeah, I hope I am too. Man, I've been trying to come out with some crazy takes and see how it goes, right? And see if it lands. I've been doing pretty good in my predictions so far. So real quick before the match starts, guys, we actually are running a giveaway. So you can sign up through the Gleam link that is in the chat. Do giveaway, giveaway in the chat. Sign up to win a RØKKR Scuff or 2,500 COD points. Ooh, I would love both of those things. Can they rig it for me? Anyways, guys, we're going to kick it over to the CDL feed. Let's see, the analysis that the desk is providing, the casters are doing before the match. And Brett and I will be back in between maps here for the co-stream. So enjoy the show, and we'll see you soon.
There for our bios, of course, me having terrible hair and you being bad at Call of Duty. Well, I mean, I didn't get into casting out of choice. It was more so just forced. I had a bad time of things when I did play way back in Black Ops 1. Of course, we kept it up casually, but moving to the casting side of things for good reason, Brycey. It wasn't a good event. It was poor, and it followed me. It followed me a while. It still does.
Yeah, well, let's move on from terrible Call of Duty players to meet some fantastic one. It's time to meet the New York Subliners.
Don't let us down. Bring home a championship. Not 1, not 2, maybe 3 or 4.
Yo, Crazy, you don't bring home the championship, you out of here, boy.
Hey, if there's one thing about the city that I understand, it's that they don't tolerate losing.
He's in from behind again. Placed it with 2.
So I'm bringing championships. We're bringing them by the dozen.
Just make sure the snipes is hitting. Headshots only. Anything higher than the headshot is uncivilized.
What a Zuma is? Zoom? He's on Zoom meeting?
The stallion is frying. The stallion is cooking.
Not quite what I was thinking.
You guys gonna kill it out there.
Good luck this season.
Thank you guys so much. This season's for y'all.
Subliners, way to go. New York's behind you 100%.
We're bringing a championship to New York City.
Well, there you are, our incredible New York Subliners team. Ton, this is an awesome squad. Clayster, Mac, Diamond Con, and ASIM.
Oh, such a solid squad. You know, we look at how well they've done so far. Some people wouldn't have expected it necessarily, but Clayster really has been leading the line for the Subliners, and they are looking somewhat special early on, Bryce. Very, very good.
Yeah, they certainly are, and a lot of people waiting to see just how good they are, in fact, going to get. A lot of people, obviously, you know, with the storylines from Clayster in the last year, are keeping an eye on him this time to see, can he go for the three-peat, Ton?
I mean, it's a good question, isn't it? Let's be honest. Clayster looking very, very good so far. He's hoping to get themselves there, isn't he? I mean, he's playing fantastic. If he can keep it up, they definitely could do it.
Well, they have got opponents now, and let's take a little look at the team coming up against them. It is going to be the Minnesota RØKKR. Well, there you go, the Minnesota RØKKR, and what could be the greatest intro video I've ever seen. And their lineup: Accuracy, Attach, Major Maniac, and Priest a ton. So far, this team has been lining it up in Search and Destroy.
They have done, and that's really what's been getting them the games. It's been the catalyst for some big, big wins. Of course, up against Dallas was really the one that sort of cemented them up near the top. A lot of people had, not necessarily question marks, but I don't think a lot of people would have expected them to come out of the gates as hot as they have done, but they've looked incredible. That performance against Dallas, their S&D really has been what has found them those wins so far, and for that reason, they look fantastic, and they should do well here up against the Subliners, but it's going to be such a close game. I mean, look at the storied names on that roster, though. I mean, look, they have a bit of everything. I'm saying people were surprised, but really, I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, they look fantastic so far, and the roster just so good. I'm so happy to see them together and doing well.
They certainly are. Well, it's time to talk about what's happening. Here are our Game Fuel's keys to victory. Minnesota RØKKR, of course, need to take a respawn. They haven't actually dropped a search yet, but are 3 and 5 in the rest of the game modes, Ton.
Yeah, I mean, the search, I said, it really has been one of the big reasons as to why they're finding themselves in a good spot so far, but respawn has been a little bit shaky, so if they can do something in that respawn, it means they're looking good in this series. S&Ds, we say they win champs, and realistically, in this case with RØKKR, it can do. But looking towards those respawns, that's really where they need to concentrate their efforts. Of course, if they can get that done, the S&D seems to come naturally. But we've seen there again, lots of close games for them as well. They need to keep that composure coming through. They're winning them now, but there will be a time where they won't. They need to make sure they're going to be consistent across every single game.
Yeah, 100%, and of course their opponents, the New York Subliners. Here are the keys to victory, the game fuel keys to victory. Clayster must maintain the level he has set. A 1.38 overall KD, the #1 in the CDL, and that's impressive all on itself.
I mean, it's Clayster bringing up the #1. You know, there's a couple of people who would have said that there would have been other players who are more than likely to do that than him, but hey, more power to him. He's really proven why, you know, he was on that Dallas roster last year. He was a world champion last year. Wants to prove it with this New York Subliners team as well. Can he do it across these 5 maps?
Well, we certainly will find out. But these two teams going to war. And now a lot of people, Ton, have been looking forward to this one to see basically where the benchmark of these two teams are.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've already set high expectations, both these two teams, with very, very good wins. And it's really a hard one to call, both in form, both looking solid. But realistically, I think a lot of people may be leaning towards the RØKKR on this one. They've really found some big scalps throughout their first couple of weeks of the CDL in Stage 1. And I'm interested to see if they can continue to do so. Subliners would be just as big a scalp as some of the previous games we have seen. And I'm very excited to get in this one. Bryson, well, what better way to kick it off from Raid Hardpoint? Oh, God, bring me back. Bring me back.
Well, let's get right into it then. Map 1, the New York Subliners versus the Minnesota RØKKR. Of course, we'll be kicking it off on Raid Hardpoint, as Ton did just say. And let's jump on board. First of all, by the looks of it, I think Priester, Ton.
Yep, going on board with Priester. I'm looking to see who's going to be able to flip these spawns. Of course, for the RØKKR, you can see Subliner starting on the kitchen side. So if you're the RØKKR, that's what you want to concentrate on. But honestly, looking at this roster, it's surprising to me that they are struggling in that respawn. But I think it just sort of undermines how good their S&D has been with how good their record is actually looking. The fact that their respawn is somewhat faltered, and the fact that they are still looking so good in the standings says a lot about how good they've been playing, but accuracy picking up a couple to open things up. Yeah, Clayster will answer back, but Subliners, very importantly, holding on to those spawns so far.
They are at the moment, but of course, we will be keeping an eye on that P2 rotation. Already Clayster going up the top, ready for those players to push him through ARP, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Only accuracy may throw a shoulder or two into the top bedroom, and Clayster knows exactly what's about to come. Right now, New York Subliners doing a fantastic job of just holding the position they need to. They are in the lead on this hardpoint so far. They have the spawns for next. A great start.
Yep, kitchen front is going to be the hit for the RØKKR here. Attach. Inside, not going to happen from money side. A seam will come through, clean that up. It's been pretty flawless so far from the Subliners now. Is Priester now going to have to try and get a flank on, and the whole of the RØKKR team here with them as well as they start making this rotation as P2 locks in. Subliners will tick these points in. We can see a slow setup here from the RØKKR, but it's one of those, if you can break it clean, you're in a really good spot to pick up a lot of points, and it started off well. Priester accuracy, and now Major Maniac finding the kills towards the back. They haven't quite flipped the spawns as Asim finds not 2, but 3 in the hill. Fantastic stuff by Asim. He keeps it alive for his team all on his own. They keep the spawns, they keep the hill, and they will keep ticking those points up.
Fantastic play, and of course, now just waiting to figure out exactly where they're coming from. His teammates going down will give him an idea. Major Maniac also picking up 2, and it is going to be rotation time very, very shortly, but New York are not going to rush to it. They know that already the RØKKR are going to be waiting for them. You can see here, this may be a full stack through mid as they try to get a little bit of control back on this map. Big setup coming on from RØKKR. You can see they spread out towards ring. They're watching water. They have a player in hill and mid as well, but those players are swiftly disappearing. New York have a great breakout here. Now they're going to try and put the pressure on. Big stuck coming in. A-Scene just waiting, looking to see whether or not he can get through, but now DiamondCon going in towards the back of Van, looking for accuracy all the way across. Bullets going down, eventually taking them out. And New York do a great job of breaking this wide open.
Yep, they've done fantastically there. RØKKR really do need to start locking some points in very, very shortly. That was an early rotation. It was a high line from them as well, which is usually something that works out, but you maybe need to play a little bit more awkward. They're holding typical sight lines. I'd like to see them in that situation. Just sit in the corner somewhere, just wait for them to come, but nonetheless, RØKKR have managed to find a couple of kills on the pushback in the garage, but it is going to be the Subliners to lock in those final 20 points or so, and that is an astonishing lead after 3 hills. We head over towards basketball court, and we can see Subliners want to make this push via Lamborghini side. Transitioning through to middle. Courtyard control is crucial, of course, as they look to make a push through kitchen, but very much is through the middle of the map, down into the belly of the beast here for the Subliners, trying to get hold of some control so they can make that push around the flank. They want to flip those spawns as soon as possible. Subliners looking to hit the kitchen hard.
Well, let's see if they can do it right now. RØKKR are more than equal to it. A-Team trying to get one, but doesn't get any more. And that means it's a full reset for the New York Subliners as they try to get back into this already. Kleisner with 2, opening up. We said high-level set for him so far, and he's doing exactly that. You can already see incoming. They're going to try and use this to the most devastating effect they can. Gets one as well, but still not quite broken. Attack is trying to hold them off. New York Subliners have managed to get bodies in it. Priest is equal to it though, trying to come through. Not able to get that one on A-Sim either. The RØKKR are stacking, but A-Sim is cutting them down. And this has not been the start you want to see if you're a Minnesota fan.
I mean, Bryce is 14-2 at the moment, A-Sim. What a start this has been from him. We've seen him pop off in Kitchen, but he's kept going under the radar somewhat, but is going to go down for only his 3rd death. What a performance this has been so far from him. Those rotations have looked healthy for the Subliners, A-Sim getting it done from the front as well. Minnesota RØKKR, though, have reduced that deficit somewhat, although it's still in and around 80 is not a healthy deficit at all for them to try and come back from. But looking in the courtyard here, have a little bit of control, not quite as much as they would like. A-Sim, though, I don't think I've seen them lose a gunfight. Here's another one. My goodness, even from that angle, it looked filthy. And they lock in the courtyard hardpoint. Really well played by the Subliners once again. A-Sim is lighting it up.
They certainly are. Well, Minnesota currently are a little bit down and a little bit in trouble, so let's throw it to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Minnesota.
Go to net.
Hey, it can be driveway. I'm looking pillars.
I spawned out water, guys. I spawned out water.
Behind us, Diamond,
they
dead.
could pinch laundry.
I killed one laundry.
Oh, he's dead. Or driveway, white van on me, white van on me.
I have your push.
I have mid pillars. I have all mid pillars right now.
White van,
white van, Clay. On point.
I'm point,
Our side point, man.
I flipped.
Stay up.
Oh,
yeah, he's just in a corner middle.
We should get water here. Look at Zig. Zig.
They saw me laundry. One's back laundry, Clay.
He's in weak Zig, he went back to pit.
I can kill this guy pit maybe. They were trophy pit. I don't see him time, bro. Oh, close R, close R, close R, and then left side hill.
Come on, pitch.
Down on the left side hill. Yeah, we have to the left side hill.
Holding jungle, one out of the play.
Alright, he's behind hill. Coming.
Left side hill, left
side time, 2 of them. There's 3 there, 4 there, all 4 there. One's hitting pillars, one's going kitchen down. We gotta hit the hill.
Yeah, we got to crush this.
Looking top.
Stay my outer.
Driveway with you. One's pillars and 2 are by hill.
Any trophies?
One trophy there side. One trophy there side. Coming left.
Oh, I got naded, bro.
Well, there we go. That was the Astro listening with Minnesota, and Ton, it hasn't really got any better for them. Still, massive streak from A-Sim is ruining the day of the RØKKR, and you've got to ask yourself, is there even a way back from here?
It's a tough one, isn't it? They sounded very, very calm and composed in the comms. I'd like to hear a little bit more urgency in this one. Subliners looking to lock this one in via kitchen, and they're already set up. I mean, this has been flawless from them. The rotations have been fantastic. They've locked down the sight lines they've needed to, and then even when RØKKR could get anywhere near it, A-Sim has been popping off. 5 deaths is what it's going to lock in from. 22 and 5 out of A-Sim is a big reason as to why the Subliners 82-point club, Minnesota RØKKR. What a performance.
I don't even think what a performance really covers what we just witnessed. They only got 5 times and a half, but suppose that's P1 for me. Like, that is ridiculous. What a ridiculous scoreline. I'm sure social media is going berserk at the moment because obviously we couldn't see it as much as we'd like to, but I imagine he was just floating around that map. Golden wings have sprouted from his back as he just delivered death upon his enemies. That was ridiculous.
That's an insane performance. It's a once in a few events performance, it has to be said. And look, it's not even like it's against one of the lower end teams. RØKKR have been there. Yes, okay, we've said that they're running gun game modes there outside of Hardpoint has been so much of a struggle for them. But look at that. That's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's only put down. I mean, it's questionable actually because he's actually got under 3,000 damage. Kleisner at 1811 coming through with 3,400. It seems just been cleaning up though. Can't finish his dinner, Kleisner. That's the problem. Fantastic from a team nonetheless though. SMG work out of the chain. I mean, that's just ridiculous from absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it certainly is, and that's kind of what we were talking about as well, right? Going into the hardpoints, we thought New York might have a bit of an advantage. I suppose Minnesota are going to have to try and rely on that search and destroy now, and try and balance the books essentially, because that is probably the worst possible way to start something up. But we'll find out what happens in the next map right after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back map 2, Search and Destroy, Minnesota RØKKR versus the New York Subliners right here. See you soon.
Oh my goodness. Can't believe it. Don't know why that happened, but it did. Brett, what were we saying about Asim, right?
I think our guy Asim came out pretty motivated there. What did we say? 22 and 5
with the most hill time too.
Yeah,
he's
over
nuts.
2 minutes of hill time.
Jeez, man, and he did it from his purple chair that we got him. That's messed up.
Yep, he's still got that purple chair.
Yep, he's still rocking the purple chair. Love that. Shout out RØKKR. Oh man, that hurts. I don't even know what we say. There's really no analysis there that I can offer. That was ugly. We started on the bad side, and just never recovered. You know, it makes you wonder, like, was that our map pick? I mean, I did kind of mention that, you know, it seems like we've played a really good variety of hardpoint maps, and they actually noted in the broadcast that Raid Hardpoint is the least played as of right now, which is kind of weird because it's such a classic. But it makes you wonder, like, do certain teams struggle on it or not? I mean, it seems like we struggle on all of the hardpoint maps lately, so hopefully we can turn that around. But good news is here. Search and Destroy is next, and that is by far our best game mode. And then, you know, Raid Control, we looked pretty good on that earlier this week against Seattle, and that was on Raid Control as well. So let's see if the boys can bounce back in map 2. Give me some Let's Go Rockers in the chat. Let's get hype. Let's get behind the guys. A bad map 1 does not mean the end of the series. Let's see how map 2 goes.
Major Maniac, 200 IQ, 10 out of 10 play. Oh my word! Attach is going to save the day. RØKKR, our kings of the north.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our games for the evening, of course. Here are our quick scope. These are the stats we've seen so far, and already the New York Subliners look like they are in a fantastic position, Ton.
Yep, a good position, but it has to be said, based on those stats and what we said at the beginning of the game, RØKKR weren't necessarily expected to win that one. But in fairness, I don't think we expected Subliners to do what they did to them there, did we? I mean, what a performance by them. But we know that RØKKR much definitely performing better on the control side of things and absolutely in the Search and Destroy. Still very much a series on our hands, nonetheless, after that performance from the Subliners.
No, 100%, and it's not all over. Obviously, that's not the greatest way to start off any best of 5 if you are the RØKKR team, but New York will be flying high. But please bear in mind, right now, Minnesota have not dropped a Search and Destroy at all. They have to be very wary that that is, in fact, coming up next. And one of the big things to talk about here is just whether or not these two teams will be top of the lead at the end of this season, Ton.
Yeah, I mean, they've both got a really, really good shot. So far, so good for both squads. And I mean, this is an important game, though. It has to be said. Both of them running relatively high, and the RØKKR really will need to lock this in. The Search and Destroy needs to be significantly better than what we've seen in that Hardpoint. But the Subliners, they will take a lot of energy going into these other games. Well, I mean, look, you say, okay, we were expecting the Subliners to go on to win that one, but that emphatically gives you that bit of a momentum heading into those next few maps. And if they can take a Search and Destroy here, I mean, they should be plain sailing, right? That should be it, done for them. But it's not that easy against the RØKKR. We've seen how good they've looked in Search, and they need to look that good once again against the Subliners.
They certainly do, but before we get too much further into talking about how this matchup is going to work, there were obviously a lot of power issues last week, but fortunately Attached and friends managed to come together to figure out how to get into CDL Super Week.
Survival vlog update day 2. We got Lamar there, we got Tej, we got Austin, we got pizza. We're at Tommy's place. His place is power, electricity, whatever it's called, internet. Listen, we got Tom here. Let's get it, Tom.
You know the vibe.
He's saving us. He ordered us pizza.
You know I got y'all.
A lot of pizza. So Tommy always got our back. Then we got P-Dog streaming. We're trying to make money on Tom's stream so we can eat food. Because we got no money. We've already been rationing food. So we need gifted subs. You better run it up in the chat. Let's get it, Preston. Let's go, baby. Run it up. 27. So y'all better run this up because we need to eat.
Well, there you go. And of course, you know, that does remind me of the old days. You know, all friends jumping in together, playing a little bit of LAN. But we can see Attached on our screen right now, and Here's the thing, going into this next game, you've just got to ignore the hard point and play what you are best at. Fortunately, that is this game mode for Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have to put that first map in the back of your mind, especially one like that. You need to just completely forget about it. It's over, it's done with. You're moving into search and destroy, into your bread and butter. This is really where a lot of your series have been won. So if you're the RØKKR, you sort of say, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. That hard point didn't go our way. Let's move into Moscow. Let's move into the search and destroy. Let's get this done. Let's tie this series up. And then it's your world to play with. So interested to see if they can bounce back. They need to. I feel as if Subliners take this, it's done and dusted. But the RØKKR, we've seen how good they have looked in search and destroy over the past couple of weeks, and once again we expect them to continue it here.
Yeah, 100%, and you can see that both teams getting ready for this one. And New York obviously back into the zone right now. They're all smiling and happy after that first hard point, but know that this is not the end of it. You've got to make sure that you get the whole game done. And they probably have practice for this as well, Ton. That's the thing. Once you start seeing these teams and you get your scrims together, you're going to start playing to try and take down the RØKKR. It's one of our keys to victories, actually, whether or not they can do it. Ton, do RØKKR fall here from grace on Search and Destroy or not?
I'm not 100% sure. Look, I was looking at the picks and bans, and I really feel as if New York targeted RØKKR specifically. We've seen Checkmate go, we obviously seen Raid go as well on the Search and Destroy side of things, and that was from New York's bans. So they're making sense in terms of what they're getting rid of. I like to see that from them, and as you said, teams are having the opportunity to prepare for each other now. They're seeing what maps are working out well for some teams, and some maps that aren't. If you're the Subliners, you choose to get rid of some of the maps that are working well for your opponents, and they really did target that. Really well played by the Subliners from that point, and the fact that they take map number 1 as well is just an added bonus. Now they're going into a Search and Destroy they feel comfortable on in Moscow. If they can get the job done here, they're in such a good spot. But for the RØKKR now, it is still, you know, Search and Destroy. It's very generic. It's very much played in a similar fashion across the whole of Cold War. And map to map, sometimes it doesn't make too much of a difference what's going to be presented to you when your record is that good in Search and Destroy. They don't seem to necessarily have crutch bans or crutch picks. They seem to just play across the board. They have a very generic map pool when it comes to Search and Destroy, and honestly, I'm expecting them to still be relatively comfortable heading in towards Moscow, but the Subliners have targeted it. They've got this in for a reason. Let's see if they can make it count for themselves, though. Subliners, as said, at this moment in time, Search and Destroy has been a bit hit and miss. We haven't seen as much of it from them as we would like to. However, at this moment in time, they'll be knowing that RØKKR are the favourites for this one. No pressure going into this. Based on map 1 that we've seen, they'll feel confident to take hard points and controls all day long based on what we just seen on Raid, realistically. So let's see if they can get it done, the Search and Destroy, but I don't think they'll be feeling too much pressure.
Alright, well, we will find out soon, Ton, but while we are waiting for this game to start, let's take a little look at our top 5 plays from week 1.
If it's not TJ, someone's getting fired. It is. Sure enough, it's TJ. Yeah. And we just, we catch the final kill of it, obviously. You don't see the full thing, and,
well, just look at the mini-map, right? Like, because he got those kills, his team, he opens up the driveway spawn for his team. If he doesn't, they're put in a tough position. It's 4 dead. You had Diamond Con number 7, who was already set up water side, would have probably got a couple of more kills. It leads to the artillery. Yeah, I mean, this was just such a momentum shift. Unbelievable stuff out of him.
Oh, and then he ends up getting like 3 more kills.
Toronto versus Florida. Those guys took their time a little bit, and these two aren't. It's just a battle over the balcony inside of the lobby towards his B site. Anyhow, it's his turn in a 1 versus 2. Almost finds Diamond. Diamond's able to play his life. 40 seconds to work with. Has to find a plant. Maybe get some good timing, and he does. Well, he spotted Diamond earlier, so he's just going to take his time.
And that's a nice win. Nice tracking, like hip fire hitting. You know, you got an AR at point blank. Not always the easiest situation, but he wins the gunfight. Now can Kenny come up? He had the triple to close out the map 1. He's able to get the plant off. Now 1-on-1 versus Diamond. Diamond with a lot to prove. Only thing he proves is that he's in Kenny's line of sight.
Parasite wins a big one. That's very, very important kill. Dylan on the flank does get completely eviscerated there by Gunners. Parasite gets himself number 2. There we have it. 2 in a row. That's the bomb down as well. I'm not sure if he caught full wind of that, but Octane and Gunners now. The AR Dream Team now making their way towards Parasite. Eyes on him, gobs up through the top. Parasite reads it perfectly. A wonderful kill there. That's going to be 3 this round alone. Shawnee, can he get involved as well now? Parasite, that's for the ace and the round. Now Looney in a 1 versus 1 against Shotzi. And it's a straight gunfight in the middle of the map. They're going to get it done in the park here. Sun goes through. Does manage to connect with the flash. Here we go. Looney. Big. Oh, no! No, 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 no! Oh, my God, no! What a win from Shotzi. Ah, that stings. Looney did everything right.
Neither team can win it here. We're seeing some more hardpoints. The madness of the map continues on. This time, though, Chicago will be able to pick up, but you know how hard this streak can be to break. Abizi is going to get a key kill over towards the next hardpoint. Abizi actually going to get 2. Abizi's actually going to get 3. Are you kidding me, Abizi? What a play there at the next hardpoint. Will that be enough to win them the game? Because now they've got both sides of the street locked down. Optic spawning in no man's land. This is FaZe's game to win.
Great plays out of Abizi, and this has been their best hill. It's been at this bus hill where Opti is dominating on number 2. This one has been all Atlanta FaZe, and it is looking good. Like you said, they controlled both sides. Simp gonna be able to find 1 kill, and that play from Abizi is gonna get us to a game number 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. This is Super Week, and this is our game currently, the New York Subliners versus Minnesota RØKKR. If you are just joining us right now, New York are up 1-0 after a lightning hardpoint. But with S&D coming next, it could be Revenge of the RØKKR. I am looking forward to it. It's Moscow at the moment. I believe Minnesota have already played this and won this map so far in the league.
I mean, look, as we were saying, Search and Destroy has been their bread and butter. They've won a lot of maps, Search and Destroy, so far. So, I mean, things have been going nicely for them. Heading over towards Moscow, though, of course, we're looking towards that one side of the map where things really do get done. And looking for those ARs to find those picks, those SMGs to be aggressive in and around the bomb site. Well, let's see which way this one does go. It's an important one for Minnesota. You feel as if they lose this, they're staring down the barrel of a loss in this series. Subliners looking so good in the respawn. And heading in S&D, Minnesota, this is their playground.
Oh, let's find out if that is true. First of all, we are on board with the MVP of the last game. Asim only dropped 5 kills in the hardpoint. As you'd expect to drop 5 in a Search and Destroy. Let's see just how good he is here, though. And already, big break coming in. Usual A hit from both teams. Going to go straight in for this one, aggressive, trying to get through. Escalators already clear through, going straight out, already going to see 1. This is a massive opening for New York. And already, it look like they are going to try to capitalise on everything they did last game. Another big kill for Asim. Somebody stop him, please, because he is out of control. New York open up in a very quick Search and Destroy. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, they're riding the wave of that hardpoint. They come flying out of the gates here. Asim with another couple, and I mean, look, this guy he's been in and out, hasn't he, over the past couple of years. He's found himself now on the Subliners team and showing what he can do. I don't feel as if we seen the best from Asim last year, but so far so good on Cold War. Want to start to the round for them, want to start to the series, want to start to the Search and Destroy for the New York Subliners.
Really is, and obviously this is not over yet. We will be seeing just how far it can go. Of course, technically he's still on a bit of a streak from that last game. See, as they go into the defense, there's like a bit of a mid-control here for New York. Going to come against a couple of the RØKKR players. Clinton's wide pig as well, but a team coming straight in. Eventually will be traded out. Major Maniac able to bring that back. It's now attached in a 1 versus 2. Already going to see Mac. Shots. Now just Diamond Con to deal with here. Be a great win if he can figure it out. Obviously, bomb down mid-map. Both these players will now be sitting here thinking, whereabouts is the other player? What information do I have? And trying to mentally track and time it. Could see each other at any point. Diamond Con and Attached come very close there. Now, Diamond Con genuinely have no idea. He's going to try and figure this one out. See, and he will know as soon as Attached ends up getting this down. But the real question is, Ton, is where does Attached go from here? And it looks like an escalator. Oh! Oh! He's trying to get out of it. Diamond Khan's going to go straight through it as well. And well, that was actually a little bit of an anticlimax in the end. Managed to find him as soon as the bomb went down.
Yep. Not ideal there for the side of the RØKKR. Subliners will get that one done. 2-0 now, and this is a Subliners pick. The Hardpoint was over towards the Minnesota side of things, so Subliners will be feeling nice about this. Diamond Khan with the 1v1. It's a big round. Big round.
I am seeing exactly how RØKKR react to this. Now, this isn't the first time they have been down in a Search and Destroy. I believe against Surge, pretty much the same thing happened. But then the ice came through and they managed to get back into it. You can already see another big push coming in from New York Subliners towards A again. It worked last time. Let's try it one more time and go for these trades. Attach going to close head. You're going to try and find place. They're not able to do anything there. Diamond Khan, he throws a nade at his own side. Eventually going to go down regardless. Asim gets another kill and they have control of the bomb site one more time, Ton. Back now looking for this plant. Currently, 2 versus 3. Subliners have the advantage.
They're going to force this through as well. Towards back pillars. Major Maniac should be very dead and is. Now accuracy in a really tough spot. The Subliners have not stopped since they left the kitchen on red. This has been absolutely ridiculous. 3-0, they're setting the pace and RØKKR cannot keep up. Step will find that one on accuracy to close it out with the best play, but my goodness me, Subliners are looking scary.
Well, we hyped it up a lot in the between the maps, Ton, and we said, you know, we are kind of waiting for RØKKR on the Search and Destroy. We are still waiting 3 rounds in. Let's see if they eventually come to life. Already, Asim is 5-1 in the Search and Destroy after a ridiculous Hardpoint as well. This man woke up and chose violence today.
A really good performance. I mean, look, he's just getting in their faces. He's causing so many problems for the RØKKR right now and just being aggressive at every single facet of his game. Back will fall though, so it's momentarily now a 3 versus 4 for the Subliners. Major Maniac and Co trying to make this push on through. Attach putting a lot of damage down, but not quite enough to find a kill. But still, let's put a little bit of pressure over towards here. RØKKR can now make their way forward. This bomb will go down. 3v3. Diamond Khan may be crucial here though. Wait for the push to come through. Turns around and gets Attach. Major Maniac now in a rough little spot as well as Diamond Khan pushes his way up. Subliners seemingly just taking it back with far too much ease. Major Maniac now in a 1 versus 2. Make that a 0 versus 2. Subliners do not stop. Phenomenal from that side. 4-0 now.
This is starting to get a little bit out of control, and that may be an understatement, but 4-0. New York Subliners are on a roll today. And there aren't really many more ways you can say it, Ton. It's been a very one-sided game so far.
Yeah. I mean, even when RØKKR are doing the right things, they make the pick over towards that A side. They then put the damage down from Attach. It gives them a scenario where they can push forward, get that bomb down. And they just fall apart. Subliners just seem so confident to challenge them every single time. Asim has not stopped. 6-1 for him, another 3 streak. Utility will go out as it often so does over towards that A side, but Trophy's there to save the day for the RØKKR. They can lock this one in now in a good position to defend it, but look at this switch from Subliners.
I love this play as well. They've done massive A hits the last 2 attacks. Now switching up to B Street. Accuracy is going to get taken down by Mac, and that was a gunfight he needed to win. That would have slowed New York down. New York now have control of this side and bodies to spare. Mac's going to try and get this one down. There is a player very close. It's Attach. Can Attach make any sort of play coming through? He does manage to get Mac. And now this brings it back to a 3 versus 3. Priester already kind of coming around the back here. Should be able to catch Clayster unawares. Does as well, teaming up. But Asim gets the same kill. And Asim choosing it again to just dominate. He comes out and Diamond Khan gets it. And New York win another round. This is ridiculous. I cannot believe that when we come to this part of the league, the New York Subliners are just running away from it. Minnesota RØKKR had a great chance there. Attached did the work. Got that first kill. Gave them the opportunity. They even got behind Clayster. But that's the last good thing that happened this round. Because for the rest of it, New York cut them apart.
You know, Bryce, when we were called up to the CDL and we sort of seen the games we were looking at, I was like, RØKKR, Subliners, my God, how close is this going to be? Oh, well. Subliners look so good. That's the problem. Even when Clayster flanks around behind there, yes, okay, he doesn't find a great deal, but the distraction, the time he takes away, the attention he takes away from that B-bomb site allows Subliners to just expand that little bit more in and around the site. It's just so hard to do anything. This has got 6-0 written all over it. Asim 9-1. Diamondcon's going to find another Major Maniac. The last man alive for the RØKKR, the last round for the RØKKR that they will see on Moscow Search and Destroy today. This one is done. This one is dusted. The Subliners 2-0. What a start to the series from them. This has been flawless so far from the boys from New York.
Well, I don't think that they're ever going to want us to cast one of their games again, Ton. Because this has been, I would say, out of the norm. It feels like everything we said between the games, before the game, we said, you know, Minnesota, the S&D, that's where they'll be top notch. After the Hardpoint, we were like, it's okay, we're going to wait for the S&D, don't worry. And then the S&D has come and it is gone in the very quickest of fashion. And they don't even look phased. There's Asim again, obviously walking off this time around, but he is ridiculous. There is no other word for it. Like, how on earth do you describe this kind of performance? What was it, 22-5 in the Hardpoint? And then he comes into the Search and Destroy, and that was at least 8-1 from the last time I saw it, but right, just get it right. You combine his KD together, it's a ridiculous score in any game mode, but he's just done the Search and the Hardpoint and has barely even died more than 6 times.
My goodness. I mean, look, we seen Clayster wasn't too happy about the comms being picked up, but I don't think he'd be too bothered about any of the comms from this game. There is no bad feelings in that New York Subliners camp right now, and 9-1 from Asim in that game. The rest of the team obviously performing fantastically. Diamondcon with 8, but accuracy at 1 and 6. The ARs couldn't get going. The ARs really could not get going on the side of the RØKKR. They couldn't. And I think, you know, that comes down to how aggressive Subliners were playing at nearly every single moment. They were setting themselves up in aggressive positions, aggressive sight angles. They were pushing the tempo every single time. RØKKR want to set up. They want to make sure that on the defensive side of things, especially, they can get those ARs with them aimed down sight and finding the picks where they can. Subliners didn't allow them that chance. They just ran headfirst into the bomb site every single time. What a performance from the Subliners in map number 2.
It certainly was a performance. And speaking of performance, here is your US Army tactical play. Of course, it's Asim just doing ridiculous work over and over again, Ton.
I mean, it starts immediately, doesn't it? I think this is just it's a good barometer of how the rest of the map's going to go. After his performance in the Hardpoint, he comes out swinging with a play like this to start the Search and Destroy, and it just set the tempo. Subliners were still feeling it from that Hardpoint, and they say, you know what, let's just keep on rolling how we did. Search and Destroy or not, 4-0 or not. They came out the gates. Fantastic from the Subliners, really good performance from Asim, and there you go, that's the first S&D loss for the RØKKR. The problem is for them now, what do they have to fall back on? This is the thing, when you are so leaning on one of your game types to be your crutch win, what happens when you lose one? That's the problem. That is where the problem develops for the RØKKR. I mean, you've lost one now, you lost a Hardpoint, you're in a really, really tough spot going into the control, but Bant's letting us know what we really know already. Is disgusting at this game. You should get him on the desk with this sort of analysis, my goodness.
Yeah, throw a social soundboard, and of course, you know, Big Ben Bantz, he is correct. Like, there is no other way to say that. He's 100% factual. Nothing but facts there from Bantz from Toronto Ultra. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what New York decided today. They just decided to just run away with it. The RØKKR are completely and totally reeling. I don't know how on earth they are going to get away with this one. But the game is not quite over yet. We are going to have one more map at least in control. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
The New York Subliners. This is basically a brand new roster for the Subliners. All things have changed, and here we go. Clay once again comes up.
What do you even say after that, Brett? My feelings are hurt. 6-0 on Search and Destroy Moscow after getting obliterated on Raid Hardpoint. It's the chair, man. It's the purple chair. Asim's sitting in the purple X rocker we gave him last season. We talked about it before the match started. We want Asim to do well. We love the kid. but it is painful to see him do so well against his former team. Brad, I mean, you know the players, you know, we have a lot of resolve. We have the ability to bounce back here, but this is tough. Do you guys think? Do you think that they have it in them to bounce back here?
I mean, you gotta keep the faith, right? There's one more map.
Yep.
But I mean, you look at the numbers. I mean, he went 9-1 on that search. I mean, he's got a chip on his shoulder, right? He's coming out flying against his old team, and that's yeah. I don't know what else to say. I put on the mask to change the vibe, hopefully change the luck, and also to hide the hide facial expressions.
Yes, we are pissed.
Yeah,
I need to get it. Is that mask in our merch shop?
If production has to bleep me out, it's easier if I got the mask on.
There you go. Oh,
no,
man.
but I mean, you know, you gotta. And we start on defense in the control, raid control. So hopefully we can start that off right and start to turn the tide. But
we did look
first
really
one's gonna
good.
be key.
We looked good against Surge on the control. We eked it out, and then Surge looked really good yesterday. I forget who they played yesterday, but Surge looked really good on raid control as well. So I don't think it's like Surge was bad. We played them really close, but yeah, reverse sweeps happen all the time. All right, they're possible, people. It's not over till it's over. This map 3 is what could turn the tide for us. You know, you just gotta Men in Black, delete the last 2 maps from your memory, and go into map 3 and put your best foot forward. So I believe in the guys. Let me get some Let's Go Rockers in the chat. We need, you know, take our energy, guys. We need the energy in the chat. But with that being said, we'll let you guys rock back into the CDL feed, and we will be back after map 3.
Let's go.
Basically, Major Maniac
Let's
just
go,
has to
Rocker.
hope that nobody comes behind him. He actually gets bad timing.
Oh, no.
Advantage, forced it to be.
It's never over. It's never over.
He was worried with Priesthood going down that they were going to fly behind him. Pook, though, does get taken down by accuracy. Now a 1 versus 2 for Krim. The GOAT is going to get taken down. It's accuracy. It's the anchor. Minnesota RØKKR with a big upset over the Dallas Empire in a match that they needed.
Nice.
Let's
go, boys.
Let's go,
Come
boys.
on.
Just
Go.
My bad.
We gotta win a damn respawn. Come on.
I didn't realize that guy just jumped out from green right there.
All that I gave it up for a second. That's my bad. I like stop watching. Go, boys. That's
hard points. I got fried, bro.
You're good. 1-3-0, bro. My it wasn't working first game.
Just fried in those hard points.
In the ice.
Yes, sir.
We there, baby.
Yo, you see what it looks like outside? Come on.
Come on, man. We're at the Minnesota to Texas, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. This is Super Week, and what a game do we have so far. You can see how it's going. New York Subliners blowing the RØKKR out of the water. That raid Hardpoint, though, 250 to 82 on that scoreline. Maybe the biggest scoreline we need to take a look at is going to be Asim. That, by the way, if you are wondering, is the best KD ratio we have seen this season, and I don't know if it will actually ever be broken.
And that isn't just, you know, this is against the RØKKR. I mean, look, it shows where he's done the business as well. 2 minutes and 10 seconds there or thereabouts in the hill as well. He's in there, he's picking up clutch kills. He's picking up important kills. These aren't just little flurries here and there, or little ones on the interchange. I mean, look, he's putting down big time in the hills, which tells you that he's picking up the important kills as well. I mean, what a performance that was on map number 1. The best KD we've seen so far on a map specifically from Asim. What a performance.
Yeah, what a performance. I am wondering whether or not he's going to do it map 3 as well. Control coming up. An opportunity for Minnesota to change their fortune. So far, they haven't really turned up in this game. And while that's not a nice thing to say, it unfortunately in this case is very, very true. New York are pretty much the team to keep an eye on here. Let's see when we come down to raid control whether or not they are going to continue this reign of terror. And I mean, there's only one player I've got to take a look at now, Ton. We've got to watch Asim.
I wonder.
There's no other reason. He is ridiculous.
He's being insane. Absolutely insane so far in this series. If he can keep it up, it's one to watch back, 100%. Let's see if they can continue their dominance here. The Subliners on to control. Of course, it will be an A hit for the first time. And it very is typically this way. We do see some B rushes every now and then, but Subliners want to start off nice and standard. Start off nice and quick. Asim will get gunned by Freezer though. Good work by the RØKKR to lock down the Subliners. Haven't really been able to do a great deal, but we can see the push through Kitchen is going to come through. B hit from the Subliners.
Start is ready and waiting. Keep an eye on him. He's going to try and deny Jungle. Actually trying to go already over, but Place is there. Is he going to get the second one? No, gets out of dodge. Hick is coming in to be so far on control and attach. He's going to take down Mac. That's big, but Clayster gets back into the action and then gets another one. Already they've given it out. One tick is enough. They're now going to start looking for the kills. And that is going to be very, very important. You can see both teams still kind of taking their time to set this one back up. The New York Subliners have chosen B to begin with. They seem getting 2 in mid-map. And they are ready to try and take this very, very early on. Clayster at the back there is going to see accuracy. Is anybody in the position to help him? No, it's going to be a one-on-one gunfight, and it will be accuracy who comes away with it this time around. As seen, going towards P5 is going to be shut down, and the RØKKR have rebuffed a lot of this pressure. Only one person left. It's going to be Mac. Tries to stay alive around basketball, but it is going to be shut down as we go for a reset, but big start by New York.
Yeah, really big start by New York, but the RØKKR managed to hold on. What I liked about that from the Subliners was how fluid it was. They always seemed to be flowing in different directions, filling spaces on the map where they knew the RØKKR weren't, or just cutting down those sight lines. Ultimately, though, it is the RØKKR who technically come out on top of that. Their lives remaining is very much in their camp right now. Of course, now at the same time, though, B 2 ticks over there means the Subliners are in a good spot to take that in a second, but they will have to make the move over towards A. RØKKR concentrating on defending B. They want to make sure they lock in this one. It's a little bit harder to attack, so putting all their eggs in the B basket, so to speak. New York will capture A. RØKKR will allow them to as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous there for New York. They could have gone badly wrong, but they fortunately managed to get the fast A capture. Sit on it, get the time, get the extension. You're already in a really good place. They are down 2 lives. But with that said, it's already gone away from them. Priester, though, going to be top bedroom. They're going to have to wait for him. And Clayster decides to fly out. It will be Diamondcon who gets him in the end. New York have swiftly gone to the B point here. Could actually end up stacking this just to get it straight through, and they've already got it. New York Subliners, in a pretty quick time, have managed to go 1-0 up against RØKKR.
I mean, the damage was done initially, wasn't it? It's that big push over towards B to kick things off. And then automatically for the RØKKR, you kind of need to commit to something, either locking down B and making sure they don't get that final tick, or just fully defending A as best you can, but it's a lot harder to get a hold of that. As I said, for me, I think on the attacking side of things, when they did find those first 2 ticks over towards B, New York were just so fluid. Clayster pushing through the spawn, and then it was just players setting up control in Kitchen. On the attacking side as well, they just wanted to be so far forward. We've seen them moving around in different positions in the map. I just really, really like the push. It just worked out so well. But now the turn of RØKKR to attack. Of course, we are going to see more than likely a hit. Subliners ready and waiting. Diamondcon! Oh, dearie me. That is accurate. And Mac will find 2 as well. It's the perfect start to the round for the Subliners. 4 of the RØKKR are dead, and they will push forward. A little bit of real estate here. They're going to be able to set up. This is a hard push for the RØKKR now.
It certainly is. New York ready and willing to try and end this game right here and right now. I think it's time we go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with the New York Subliners.
Me and Matt going down header. I'm gonna come down header. I'm gonna come down header. We can heady. Play down header. Yeah, I'm running on header. I'm right, Matt. Okay, I'm pushing right. Go left.
Last game major mid. He's gonna be actually. Pillars, really, guys. Pillars, really. Nice, boys. Good job. Watch 4. Set up a break again.
Bedroom.
They're coming A again.
Coming A, okay. We're getting to the time where you could use the streak if it gets lower. Alright. I got 1 in hurt. I'm not shaking. One more hurt. Press.
One shot on A.
They're gonna cap.
Art, one shot. There's 2 on A.
Going back to bed.
Watch one on A.
I'm backing up.
Looking for major. We're missing major in attack.
He's front kitchen.
I'm here, Mac. Nice, Mac.
Yo, pillars. I can pinch up.
There's 2 on me.
I'm gonna come out.
They found me, dude. They found me.
Got 1 on left.
2 bedroom already, guys. I'm pushing over. Hold ring. Watch the bed push. There's 2 bedroom already. 1 on me ring. Weak. Dead.
I'm gonna pinch. We're good.
They're gonna be bed.
Top bed, one shot. Major.
Opens up on me as well.
One shot top bed. Let's close open.
You gotta help. Open. I can shriek.
Yeah, shriek this.
Alright, stay up.
Nice, Mac. Good job.
There's only 1 on our side.
Shriek, bro.
Top bed.
Well, there you go, the New York Subliners. That's your Astro Gaming listening, and they sounded a bit fast and frantic, but also calm at the same time. They know they are right at this moment in control of this game. No pun intended, Tom.
Very much so. But at this moment in time, the RØKKR not necessarily in too bad of a spot here. There's still very much potential to get something done at B. The streak's going to come in, though. It doesn't really find anybody from Diamondcom, but nonetheless, the RØKKR are forced into positions they don't want to be in. Subliners set up, know exactly what's coming. That's going to make the push around. Diamondcom very aware of what's going on, but it's the bait. If anything, it's Priester now pushes through. And Kitchen is where they may formulate this final attack. Mac is going to go down now. And it keeps coming here for the RØKKR. 11 lives remaining on their side of things. 16 on the side of Subliners, though. Subliners can just try and pick them apart if they can.
They're trying to make a move out here, but they just don't have the map control. Eventually, will manage to take down closer, and you can see one more time, RØKKR are trying to get in a good position, and it's not going as well for them as they would like. Now, with only 5 lives remaining, New York are in full control. Accuracy trying to get forward. Mac is going to take him down. Cash also going to fall here. Only 3 lives remaining against 13. And New York aren't budging an inch in this game, and they haven't from the very beginning. This could be one of the quickest 3-0s we've ever seen, touch wood.
I mean, Subliners are making a bit of a habit of this, to be fair, aren't they? It has been quite convincing from them this week, and they just seem to get better and better as every series goes on. And this was just a case of the RØKKR. Yes, okay, they got a hold of it, but the damage was done initially. Those lives get ticking down, and it's one of those things, if you're on the attack, it cannot be as consequential for being down lives. You get one good break, you can really whack up that time on one of the control points so quickly, but they just couldn't get everybody from the Subliners out of their spawn. They were consistently finding themselves in those positions. When they went, the Subliners were setting up with their ARs. Diamondcon, Clayster, phenomenal from them. Diamondcon, of course, dropping the streaks in. Subliners now 2-0, 14-9 out of Diamondcon. Max 15-7 as well. It's a great performance so far by the Subliners, flawless throughout the whole series. Now their turn to attack, of course, as the push starts to come through. Accuracy and Laundry. Diamondcon, once again, though, will get the better of him. It's been a good performance by the youngsters so far. Subliners, though, looking to get a hold of A. They should get a hold of A.
Certainly shouldn't. You can see, though, the RØKKR are looking maybe to kind of deflect this one to begin with. Big stack coming in. 3 members of New York already on the point. They've managed to get rid of the player watching the flank, and now they're going to try and close in. Major Maniac coming through. Diamondcon equal to it. And Mac is going down as well. Priester trying to find Diamondcon. Eventually will be picked up by his teammate Accuracy. But when you kill all the players at ring, they do end up spawning short pool to get to B. And that's exactly what the New York Subliners are now going for. Major Maniac ready to rebuff them. Already finds Mac. Tries to get on to Ace him, but great trades coming in. Attach going to Tiggy. Going to see Clayster right at the back. And this is a much better showing already from them. They have done the business to get B clear, but lost A. Not the biggest of problems. Right now, Minnesota are in control with 25 lives remaining. Oh, Major Maniac is Sin 1. Sin 2 isn't going to get the third. Clayster decides not to take that gunfight. And this is much better. Right now, they are in control of this game. Let's see whether or not they can hold on.
As I was saying, though, those lives don't necessarily matter as much on the attacking side. You need one good break, and that can be the difference. Clayster now, if he can find Major Maniac, that would be massive. Wasn't expecting him, and that's 3 very quick kills for the RØKKR. Can they find a 4th as well? Not quite. Diamondcon still going to just niggle away towards the back. Taking his time, staying alive. They need to try and get rid of him, which may just free up some time for the Subliners. Not going to happen. This is the best we've seen from the RØKKR so far. Good shots from Accuracy. This should be around for the RØKKR. Those lives remaining are just far too gone for the Subliners. RØKKR have the time to just pick them apart.
Certainly do, and it's going to be a big slowdown now as New York don't have the lives to throw away. They're going to try and get someone. They see him already going through, but he's going to find a player on his back, and down he goes. There is also a flank coming in. Keep an eye on Accuracy on your mini-map. He's going to try and get this player top bedroom as well. Place is going to go down, and you are right, Ton. This is the best we've seen RØKKR so far. They are playing this textbook. They are making sure New York do not have an easy route to B. They are spreading out across the map and getting trades in their favour. However, New York just took control of Kitchen. I don't know if it's enough. They have to get past Accuracy first.
Accuracy, that's a big gunfight win. He will go down. Oh, these kills that are important, though, for the Subliners. Yes, okay, the lives are now at 4. They cannot afford to die, but if they can clear them out, maybe something can get going. Unfortunately for them, RØKKR spawning close towards basketball side. That will surely be now a round for the RØKKR. They get on the board for, well, pretty much the first time in this series. 1 life remaining, that's going to be Mac. Towards Kitchen, he will choose to go down. The RØKKR will find themselves around their defensive side, albeit they'll be more than happy to eventually get some sort of tick on the board.
Well, that means we have a game on our hands. Soda not going to sleep very, very easily. New York Subliners, though, still going to be on map and series point if they can get this next one. It is good to see, finally, slowing down that slaying out of New York so far, and I am curious to see whether or not they go maybe for something a little bit outrageous, like a heavy B push to start, or just go for the A, try to capture it, and then work on B for the rest of the game. Looks like a pretty standard run. Going to A, you're going to see Major Maniac probably try and make sure their pillars are secure. A little bit of a slow push, actually, just wading into Art. It does seem going to make sure they can get these trades effectively. Already accuracy trying to move up here. They seem keeping an eye over. Nobody comes through, but that nade goes straight onto him, and accuracy says thank you very much as he pops out. DiamondCon, though, more than equal to getting the trade for his teammate, but RØKKR are going to get the better of this one. DiamondCon trying to play his life. Has done very, very well to pick these players off. You can see reinforcements coming in from the purple. Major Maniac going to now win that fight top laundry ton.
Yep, they won the fight. They can now push through. Mac is there to do something for the Subliners, but they're presuming that A is well and truly lost. It looks that way. Look at the control that RØKKR have set up in and around. Subliners now will set up towards laundry, and I think that's more so just to stop the flank coming on through. A, of course, going to go over towards the RØKKR now. Priester will find a kill on the outset, and Mac will go down, but Clayster setting himself up well. And I think, you know, for the Subliners in this scenario, you've got 2 minutes to defend over towards B. Live's not in your favour. You need to maybe push up, maybe play a little bit awkward for the RØKKR to try and make these pushes as hard as possible. Haven't been able to gain any sort of map control, though, and that's brilliant play by Priester. Clayster going to go down, and now Minnesota RØKKR feels like they're building back into this game, Bryce.
Yeah, maybe a slow start, but it's not about how you start, it is about how you finish. Already accuracy just gunning there as well. RØKKR have the numbers now on the map to get this one done. Already getting a stack in. That first kick is done. That second one is rocketing up. DiamondCon sitting back basketball. Are they ready for this push? They're going to have to hit it eventually. That is 2 ticks now on the B. Clayster and Mac getting it, though. They open up. Clayster gets a second one as well. And Clayster gets everything they need to with Asim and Mac backing him up, because they are now pushing them all the way back to spawn one more time. 2 lives in favour of RØKKR. Will they be able to lock this down for the remaining 122?
It's that second wave of kills they just found there as well, Bryce. That's what puts RØKKR in a really difficult spot. If you're New York, you find those kills, you push up. You find a little bit more control of the map, but they can't find the gunfights there. Major Maniac now going to break on through. Asim is able to enter back, as is Clayster. But Major Maniac, the only one left here. Clayster causing havoc in the spawn of the RØKKR. Major Maniac will find the kill, though. DiamondCon locking this one in if he can. Subliners, you know, I mean, they were down in this one. It really seemed as if it was going over towards the RØKKR side, but a couple of kills is what makes the difference on control. It can swing so quickly. But keep an eye on number 2. Keep an eye on attach to potentially do something here, as the artillery's now going to be called in by accuracy. Which way is this one going to fall? It was over towards Tiki, will not find anything. Attach round the back, though, is somebody who has found something, and that's a route round behind. The rest of the team should now break on through with him, but they've actually lost the gunfights. Now, he does actually have accuracy photo with him. Mac going to go down. Asim went for a swim, but he ain't quick enough. Needs to work on that breaststroke. RØKKR now 2-2. Subliners, it's not necessarily slipping away through their fingers here, but the RØKKR very much back into it.
Yeah, 100%. That was much better executed, and it can always be a nightmare to try and get B, but they did such great work to eventually squeeze New York out of it, and just got enough bodies on it. I always say, the best thing about it is if you can get 2 ticks onto B on this map, then a quick stack by even 2 players can ruin the defender's days. But now we jump on board with Minnesota on the defense. And let's see if they can get 3 rounds in a row and bring this back to 2-1. Redemption is very much on the cards, but Clayster opens it up with a great kill against Priester. They've already taken full mid-map control. New York Subliners now pretty much have their pick of where they want to go, and with 2 players paying money, it does seem they've chosen B to break off.
Sometimes something that teams do on Red, it's the fast B push. We know how quick that these points can be allocated with a big stack. Subliners not necessarily choosing to throw bodies inside the hill, as, well, they've lost a couple of them. To be fair, Priester will find those shots eventually onto Clayster, and this B push has been somewhat positive for the Subliners. They will find one tick over the woods. And Max staying alive there is just such a big point for them. He's now in a position where RØKKR have to clear him out. Has he pushed into our spawn though? Has he dropped back onto the point? They haven't got a clue where he is right now. They've got a good idea, but it's one of those scenarios. It's like, what do you do with Mac now when you've got the rest of Subliners pushing through the middle of the map? Subliners have transferred their efforts over towards A, with Max still just being a nuisance over towards basketball court. They still have to put that pressure in. They don't have to send those two players over there if they don't know that Mac is still alive in that point, which allows Subliners a route through A now. Not in complete control, but they're in a good spot to grab a hold of it.
Certainly are, and I think this is the point where Minnesota give it up. You can already see, keep an eye on that mini-map, Ton, that they have spread very, very far out. You're going to see accuracy already. Might even go top Art here and see if he can pick off a player or two. Right now he's going to go straight out of Art door. Let's go through line, and he's going to see Diamond Con. He's going to be calling it out to attach as well. Who's there to try and get the pinch, but Mac is more than equal to it. And now, all on New York to try and figure out a way to break this purple wall. Now throwing it up already, a big ball on the side of New York is going to be Priester sitting top bedroom. Actually just flying about. Actually ends up getting the three-piece with an assist from his trophy.
Seam will find the kill though on the outside, and if you're Subliners here, you do have the time to just pick them apart from the back. Minute and 10 remaining, a Seam now inside the point. They've got rid of the issue of accuracy in bedroom, and now they can make this push through. Asim trying his best to stay alive. Needs a little bit of support here though, as Mac and Co now in the site. The push needs to come from RØKKR any second now. Attach will go down. Major Maniac momentarily all alone, but from the jump up is accuracy. RØKKR need to be solid here because Subliners are just ticking up that time very, very slowly. It's Priester from behind that should break it, but Diamond Con staying alive and Tiki still 54 seconds to go.
Well, that's a big kill from Attach. That stops New York being as aggressive as they would like to. Attach now going to fly out here at some point and try to figure it out. Major Maniac backing him up. Clayster already picked off one. Diamond Con gets another. Major Maniac's got to stay alive, but Clayster with the laser just shutting them down, and now they're getting onto B. Diamond Con stacking it with them as well. Attach on a peak, trying to do something, and the New York Subliners, for the second time this season, have just 3-0'd another team in the Call of Duty League. And the RØKKR looked like they were coming back. They looked like a team we were expecting. New York have been a cut above. They call this Call of Duty Super Week, but it's the Super Subliners we are now talking about.
What a performance in maps number 1 and number 2, and the composure to hold on to that 5th round after being 2-0 up. The Subliners have everything in their locker to make a charge this season, and we are seeing it here right now. What a performance that was out of the New York Subliners, and a lot of people are going to look at a team on those first 2 maps, absolutely, but you have to look at the whole team as a cohesive unit. I mean, they played that control so well. Yes, okay, a couple of rounds letting it slip here and there. You've got to give your appreciation to the RØKKR for a really good comeback, but the Subliners as a team looking hella scary here in Super Week.
They are looking crazy strong. I'm sure anybody else who's got them on the schedule is now looking at that game in a very, very different way. How could you not? How could you not sit there and go, wow, that is terrifying to come up against? New York Subliners, back-to-back 3-0s. Somebody put the Clayster picture on the timeline.
I see the tweet during the game actually from Madcat. That did make me laugh. I see him notice that apparently Hydro's visa's gone through, and he's like, nah. That ain't happening. What a performance from that young man. 3-0 for the Subliners. Asim was a big reason as to why that happened. But let's have a look at how control broke down for the New York Subliners. A 3-2 win here. And Diamond Con really has to be the guy you're looking at here. 30-24. It's a phenomenal AR performance from him.
Yeah, I would say definitely huge plays there, but also Clayster, you know, there were both of them made some very important kills that probably the stat lines don't tell you. And there's things like that B when we went to the last bit there. Clayster managing to pick up the trades and cutting down the RØKKR just meant they weren't able to defend. And like I said before, right, you get 2 ticks onto B onto that one, you have to play a flawless defense.
Shaking my head, Brett. Shaking my head. That is that's the toughest loss I think we've had as Minnesota RØKKR since last season. Subliners came in and they had our number today, right? You know, it looked like maybe in map 3 there, pushing it to overtime. You have defense in overtime. You're like, all right, like maybe we can make this work. But we didn't, and we will live to fight another day, of course, but this one stings. Tell me, like, I mean, what are your thoughts? Like, I know, like, organizationally, obviously, this is on the RØKKR channel. We both work for the team at RØKKR in version 1 here. What's it like to experience losses like that for
Yeah,
you?
for me, I look at it from two perspectives, right? In the moment, I'm like every fan watching every fan in the chat, and if my initial instinct came out, I'd probably get banned from the Discord and banned from the chat right off the bat, right? And that's the fan in me. When I look at it organizationally, it's one game in a long season. You digest it. I'm sure the coaches and the players will discuss what happened. We'll break down some film. We'll be thinking about how to fix whatever the mistakes were, and then you move on to the next one. And that's there's really not time to dwell on it for the players and coaches, right? For fans, like, we can dwell on it right up until 2:29 p.m. on Saturday, but the players and coaches have to, you have to focus on I'm breaking down the film and what happened, but you got to move on. You got to focus on the next match, and that's London, which is a big match on Saturday. And we've still got a chance. If we beat London, we've still got a chance to finish in that top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at a loss like today, it was brutal. Like, smacked on the hard point, obliterated on the search and destroy. Shout out to Asim. Shout out to the Purple X RØKKR he's still sitting in. I'm blaming this loss on that chair.
Superpowers.
Yes, the X RØKKR gave him superpowers. It hurts. It burns.
Somebody talk to our lawyers and have them send him a letter asking to cease and desist use of the superpowered chair.
Yes, you cannot use the purple chair against us, Asim. Never. It was tough. But when I look at that map 3, I mean, I just glanced at the score, but I don't know if production were able to pop that up there again. But, looking at the kill numbers and the defend numbers, mathematically, we should not have really lost that game. It came down to a couple of crucial moments there for us. Thank you, production. Let's go. But it just seemed to me like I'm not an expert. I'm not a coach. I'm not an analyst. But the fights that we were losing at certain key map positional points is what ended up losing us that control there. You look at the score lines and it's not terrible. And especially when you're looking at the defense kills and you look at the fact that RØKKR had more defensive rounds, that's one you got to come away with to turn the tide of the series. But alas, we could not do it. And I think it's a good point, though. It's not about just like, yes, of course, L's like this are tough to take, but it's not over. It's one game. It's one day. And I would much, much rather this happen this week to our team than next week at the majors, right? We've got time to go back, lick our wounds a little bit, and most importantly, learn from this. I think the best teams in any sport, but particularly here in Call of Duty with how like fast and aggressive this CDL schedule has been, is how quickly can you adjust to the things you're not very good at? Or, we've struggled in Hardpoint. We've won 1 Hardpoint out of 1,000, it feels like, right? So I do think we will start to see improvement there, I hope. And I do think, losing like this, I would much rather it happens this week where we can take it, take it on the chin, and then you come back next week. So now looking forward, Brett was doing some quick math. Not my specialty. I can tell you that we do play London Royal Ravens at 3:30 Central Time. We'll be live right here for another co-stream on Saturday. That's at 3:30 Central on Saturday for our final matchup of the stage, which will, kind of implicate our seeding for the majors next week. So, Brett, quick explain like I'm 5. What do you want to be in for the bracket for majors next week? We want to be top 3, right? Is it still possible for us to get top 3? What needs to happen?
Yes, it is still possible for us to get top 3, but we need some help. So what we're going to be rooting for as RØKKR fans. So tomorrow's schedule, you've got 2 p.m. London versus Thieves. That one probably doesn't matter as much to us at this point. But the 5 p.m. match tomorrow, New York versus Dallas, that one's big for us because if we end up in a tiebreaker with Dallas, we win that tiebreaker because we beat them head to head. And if we end up in a tiebreaker with New York, we lose that tiebreaker. So what we need to be rooting for tomorrow is that New York beats Dallas. And if that happens, then as long as we beat London, we have that third slot.
Let's go, Subliners!
Let's do it. If New York plays like they did today, they can absolutely beat Dallas, and we'll wait to repossess that purple chair from Asim until after the Dallas match. But so New York's got to beat Dallas tomorrow, then we beat London Saturday, and we are the third slot. If Dallas beats New York, then there's a lot of different scenarios that could come into play, and that's going to take me way longer to do that kind of math.
That's a lot of math. Because, I think if Dallas does beat Subliners tomorrow and we do beat London, it may come down to that Dallas-LA Thieves match to cap off Super Week on Sunday evening. That's going to hopefully be a really big match. But, I mean, it sucks. We had our destiny in our possession today. We had control of our fate today. We weren't able to pull it out, and it was really ugly, if I'm honest. But I know this team. I know our coaches. They are not going to lose full. Tomorrow is a new day. Saturday's a new game day, and they're going to go back and really look at what happened, look at what went wrong, look at the future. I mean, they've got let's see, it looks like 5 or 6 matches before our next match. Guarantee you we'll be watching that film closely and trying to get a good grasp for how teams are playing and succeeding in the game.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to, right? You don't want the coaches and the players to get too high or too low. Win or lose, you want them to be introspective about what you can improve on heading into the next match, and I'm sure that's what they'll be doing. I have a question for you, actually. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. When we were watching, there was in that map 5, when we were defending B, you called out right before a gunfight that if Priesta died mid-stairs, we lose. He lost that gunfight, and we lost. Can you tell why was that so important? Why was that such a critical moment?
Yeah, so, and it kind of goes back to like when we were showing the scores, and we did have defense more than offense there. We were getting good, KDs for the most part, but it just comes down to where are you losing those gunfights. When you're on defense and control on raid, you want to try to get up in that apartment so that you can not only have an angle at their spawn, the top apartment, like the little bedroom looking thing on the pool side, you want to get up there so that you can get a peek at their spawn when they're coming through, and then also you actually can see open stairs and the defensive points, and you can see Tiki and money window. You can see everything from that apartment. So either Priesta or accuracy getting up there is massive for the team. In addition to that, you also want to try to control stairs, right? That open stairs area, that's where stuff can get really dicey. If there's too many, offensive players flooding the stairs and the hill from money, or not the hill, but, the point from money window, then it gets harder for that person at top apartment to really get the line of sight they need to be able to get more than a kill and without getting traded. So it's tough. So those are the 2 places you want to hold. And, based on the fact that we didn't have apartment control at that moment, and Priesta was the furthest pushed up, he did lose a 1v1 fight from that stairs. It was really close. There was a ton of jelly on the screen of the person who killed him. And then just from there, I think there was 1 or 2 people from New York on the point, and the more people on the point, the faster it goes up. We're just not going to have time to get back to that side of the map to stop them. And then you have, Clayster looking like Ponytail Clay of Black Ops 2 days on raid, laying down on the points and just absolutely obliterating a line of sight with an AR. So it's tough. I mean, I know we looked bad today. It hurts. It sucks. But we'll be back. And we said it before the game. New York has looked better and better each game that we have played them in. And that is, I mean, if you're a competitive COD fan, that's what you love to see. Obviously don't love to see it today against our team. And I am going to blame the purple chair 100%. But good for them, I guess. I hope they win tomorrow. Let's go.
Yep, not much else to say other than that.
That's 100%. The chat says you look mad. On a scale 1 to 10, how mad are you? I'm at like a 6.
Yeah, I gotta put the mask back on
in case you start cursing.
Yeah. No, hey, Yeah, Sean in the chat. Look, hey, I'm not happy when we lose. Nobody here is happy when we lose.
Nobody's happy when we lose.
You know, like I said, it's a long season, and you know, the fan in me is, you know, will go break some things, and the team executive in me is, you know, is on to the next match and ready to support the players and the coaches with whatever they need. Right? It's one match, long season. And like we said, you know, there's a pretty real path to the number 3 seed in the group, which was the goal heading into the start of the stage. So we're going to see New York beat Dallas tomorrow, and then we got to do our job against London.
I think we can do our job against London, although they have looked better as well. They've been slowly improving. We're going to need to take this on the chin and come back better. So I guess we're cheering for the Subliners tomorrow versus Dallas. No problems there. Would love to see Asim keep succeeding. He went absolutely off in the series against us just now. Shout out to Asim. Shout out to the Purple Chair. And shout out Subliners. They played really well today. I'm not sure if, you know, it's us looking bad and them looking good. Maybe a little bit of both, but it was Subliners day today, and hopefully it's their day again tomorrow versus Dallas, and hopefully we can take the dub against London on Saturday and hopefully slide our way into the top 3 of the winners bracket of majors next week. Now, if we don't get in that top 3, we do still play at majors, but it will be from the losers bracket. So like, can't lose. If you go in the winners bracket, you can afford to lose one time. If you go in losers bracket, you lose. It's over. You're packing your bags. You're going back to freezing cold Dallas, Texas. I guess it's warmed up now there, but you're packing your bags and going home. So shout out to the RØKKR Purple Chair. Shout out Subliners. They had our number today, but it is not over. We'll be back for another co-stream on Saturday. I believe we play at 3:30 Central Time on Saturday versus the London Royal Ravens. We'll see you guys there. Make sure to sign up for our giveaway before you leave the stream today. We are giving away a RØKKR scuff. There you go. Hey, there you go, Brett. Brett just put on his V1 hat. Yo, we're matching now. We both got V1 hats. If you guys don't know, V1, version 1, our parent org. We are playing in Valorant today. We've got Rocket League majors coming up this weekend. We've got Call of Duty majors next week. There's a lot going on around here. It's been really exciting. No shortage of esports to watch. But yeah, we'll be back. Make sure to sign up for the giveaway as we go out here. Win a RØKKR scuff or 2,500 COD points. If I won 2,500 COD points, I would just buy the RØKKR skins in game, but that's just me. I'm biased, of course. But anyways. Oh, go ahead, Brett. Were you going to say something?
No, I was just going to thank the fans for hanging with us. And, yeah, we'll look forward to turning it around on Saturday.
That's what we got to do. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. We'll see you on Saturday. And subscribe on your way out, and we'll catch you next time.